Welcome to SBA Today for the week of August 12th, where our motto is likely helpful, definitely entertaining. Good morning, Tanya. What are we doing today? What are we talking about?
Good morning, Paul. So we're talking about SBA announcing another round of taking applications for Community Advantage SBLC licenses, industries that are impacted by high unemployment, as well as you and I, as you know, are going to have a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
discussion around tombstones and
Yep.
around the difference and what is better or worse with a 504 or a 7A loan. First, though.
Yes. But first, last week, my credit union had a commercial banking conference that we do each and every year. This year, we had a speaker who talked about love. Now you're thinking to yourself, really? Love? That's it? Well, make a joke or two, but it's
Mhm.
about loving your customer. And I want you to think about a brand that you love. We all have one, right? That one brand that you just love. And what does that look like? Maybe you follow them on Facebook. Maybe you will never buy any t-shirt that's not made from X. Okay. So in mine, when I was going through this, I use Stitch Fix. I love Stitch Fix. They take the thought out of shopping. They have good prices, good customer service. I follow them on Facebook, and I always look forward to their emails and notifications on my phone. Okay.
I would not pick up
Now,
on that. Just, that's a good one. Stitch Fix. All right. I got
I'm a
you.
guy,
I
so I
got you.
just I just want it to happen.
Yeah.
So what the main takeaway on this is, what does your client say or think about you? Is there any of your clients that say, when they get asked
Mhm.
what's a brand that they love, that they say XYZ credit union or XYZ bank is so awesome because they what? What is that? As salespeople and even back office people, we have to remember that we are creating a connection with our customers. A lot of times we can be transactional, and we shouldn't be. Most of our organizations really want relationships out there.
Mm.
What would your customers say about you if they were on there? Would they love you? Would they recommend you? That's what I want your takeaway to be today: is think about what your customers would say about you, and think about if there's a customer or a member that says, you know what, I love blank credit union or blank bank. They are the best because of XYZ. Think about that of what you're doing with your borrowers. Because if you're transactional, they're not going to remember your name from 30 days ago. But if you make it an experience, they will absolutely not just remember you, but remember your institution. So keep that in mind. And that was my takeaway.
Well,
Um,
and I would probably add to that though, and you know me, now I love talking about love. I think I'm sorry, because you can go from personal into business all day long, I
yep.
believe, right? Because it crosses over. I think, what do you love about yourself? What do you love about what you do and what you
Mm,
bring to the table for your customer? I think goes a long way too, because that emanates out of who you are and what people pick up on. Now, I think with ours, does everybody love our bank? No, absolutely not. Does everybody
mhm.
love our products? 100% no.
Yeah.
Do I want them, though, to remember me? Because here's the deal, if they remember you, that's who they're actually doing business with. The rest just falls into place. Do they have somebody on the front lines that's doing what they can to help them? Doesn't mean they always can, but are they at
Mhm.
least doing the best that they can to move something forward and or get them to the right place if that's the case? So I think, look at yourself first, and what are you bringing to the table? What do you see about yourself that is beautiful, loving, whatever, right? And what are you
Mhm.
putting out there to your client? Because I think that comes across. So,
Amen. Well said. Well
well,
said.
thank you, sir.
All right. Well, jumping into the
Mhm.
news here. So, SBA is now accepting applications for SBLC licenses between September 2nd and October 15th. They anticipate issuing up to 3 new licenses in late 24, so by the end of the year, and they may issue additional licenses at a future date. which will be interesting. They're really limiting these SBLCs to certain geographical areas and loan amounts, which I thought was really good in this case.
Mhm.
They're also going to require SBLCs to make at least 60% of their loans to eligible small businesses in underserved markets. So,
I think that's
in
great.
my I think it's
Mhm.
great, but I do think also the amount of people that will be applying for these will be less with these handcuffs on. Which I think they're good handcuffs. Don't get me wrong,
I was gonna
but
say, yeah, I think they're doing it purposely to handcuff.
they are 100%. But I think it's going to be interesting to see
Mhm.
how it all works out on who do we have the right people who are applying for these licenses. So I
What?
definitely hope
What?
that's the case.
That's never happened before. I mean,
No, notice I did not bring that up at all,
I so wanted to, and I'm like, zip, zip. Anyway,
Tanya. Yeah.
we never do that here, right?
No,
Anyway,
nothing. No.
awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Paul. Let's see, I'll go into the other one. We're going to thank Lumos. Lumos has great graphs and whatnot.
Yeah, they do.
We can actually put that up, but you know, we all know unemployment rates have gone up since last year, right? So as of July of this year, 2024, unemployment rates are 4.3%. Now, same time frame last year, it was 3.5%. So we've gone up almost a full point. So what we're going to like show you is the difference in how it affects different small businesses dependent upon how much the unemployment goes up. So the most sensitive ones are going to be loans to loan brokers, right? Loan brokers. So a 1 point increase in the unemployment actually has default rates in that industry go up by 1.62%. That's pretty significant,
I
actually.
gotta ask on this, Tanya. Have
Yeah,
you ever done a loan to a loan broker?
I 100% can tell you, no, I have not.
I don't
Mm-mm,
know a lot of people that have,
I
but
haven't.
uh, just saying.
Well, I was gonna ask you actually that once I went through, I was gonna ask you the same because I'm sitting there going, well, gosh, I feel really left out here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, let's keep going through this list
Yeah,
and see what else we haven't done.
yeah. Okay. New multifamily housing. Now, is that
That's not even
SBA?
eligible.
I'm like, huh, weird. Okay.
Yep.
All right. New multifamily housing constructions next on the list for the highest default rates. Instrument manufacturing for measuring and testing electricity. All right.
That's the
Uh,
most random NACIS code I've ever seen.
there's so many. I mean, there's another one in here that I kind of get it. I was going to make a joke about it, but I get it. Okay, so periodical publishers,
Ah,
in, interior design services. That makes sense, obviously,
yeah.
right? To me,
Yep.
that would make sense. Offices of real estate appraisers. Again, I think that probably makes sense as well because if people aren't doing as many loans, maybe because interest rates are going up, well, then that also affects those who are working with that industry, which would be appraisers.
Right.
Shellfish fishing. Now, this is the one that it gets me every time I see this on a list. But here's what I'm thinking. Think about it. If unemployment rates are going up, likely people may be eating out less, at least for maybe more expensive meals.
Mm,
Am I making a
I
stretch
thought
there? Shellfish?
I thought that when unemployment goes up,
Uh-huh.
shellfish aren't as hungry, so they don't bite. So therefore, you can't catch them, and so then default rates go up. That's my guess. But go ahead.
There it is. They're just running. I know. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, how does that work? Right? Maybe we should call somebody that's in that industry.
Totally.
Okay, so all other publishers, other than the one we already talked about for periodical publishers,
Sure.
new single family housing construction. Now, again, if this is for sale builders, well, that's again not typically
Yep.
well, it depends. I mean, I guess if it's for their own office or something like that, then they could do SBA, but not for
Sure.
the items they're building. Marketing and consulting services, framing contractors,
Makes
other
sense.
motion picture and video industries. Okay.
Oh, darn.
Siting contractors. So siting contractors. A lot of these are
Uh-huh.
you getting that's kind of the theme here, and
Yep.
other management consulting services. So in order, that's basically the ones that have the most challenge when it comes to higher unemployment rates. What do you see on that list? What are you thinking?
It's all across the board, but the thing
Yeah,
I see most is real estate. Real
right.
estate building, some subs,
All goes together.
siding,
Yep.
framing,
Yep.
that type stuff. So,
The
you know,
phrases. Yep.
it makes sense. If you don't have a job, you're probably not going to be buying a house. I
100%.
mean, so yeah, interesting. Lumos does such a great job of just pulling out random information, and we love
Thank you.
sharing your random information. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
All right, Tanya. So I have two things I want to talk about today, and I just want to have an open conversation, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. Okay.
No, you don't.
So, tombstones. We all know tombstones. And if you look on LinkedIn, you get bombarded by tombstones. For those who don't know what a tombstone is, it's, hey, I'm Joe Blow and I just booked an SBA loan for $3 million to a gas station at 90% loan to value. Okay. My I do them quarterly for my team and I put them out, but I just don't, are they valuable?
I
Like,
hate them. I hate them.
okay, why do you hate them? Tell me.
Okay, I think it's probably personal. I don't know. But to me, it's like, oh, okay, who's the market that you're going for in general, right? But to me, I see somebody's
True.
tombstone. One, I don't know if it's something they did or if they're just finding something from some random person,
That's a
maybe
good point.
within their industry or maybe not. I don't even know, right? Because we're not verifying this stuff. We don't know where it's coming from. And I've seen it too often. Is it even theirs? What did it take to get to it? Okay, we just closed. Right. Well, was that from 2 years ago that you finally disclosed? Is that from I don't know. I personally hate them. I do. I hate them. My team, a lot of them like them, right? I think they're probably putting one out there soon. Me, I'm always
Mm,
like, do what works for you. I personally think it's almost like a bragging something, something. And the way I
mm,
see it, if I'm in business and I see some loan officer, and I'm sorry, guys, this is just a personal opinion. It's not against anybody. But when I see it, it for me, it makes me feel like it's all about that bank and that loan broker, not really about me or my deal. That's just
interesting.
how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wanted to get your feedback on that, and I'd love the audience's feedback too. Please go ahead and make some
Oh, I'm gonna
comments
get
down below
nailed.
what you
I
think.
know it. I'm gonna get nailed on that one is my
Yes,
guess.
you are.
Again, it's just my
But
own personal opinions. That's why I don't do them, but
mhm.
others, yeah. But why
You
the
know,
heck is it called a tombstone anyway? Just saying.
well, yeah, exactly. Your loan died. Like,
Yeah.
I was just curious because it's something that I do.
Mhm.
I do it, but I don't know why I do it. Because most of the people that I'm communicating with, yeah, you
Mhm.
have your brokers and that type of stuff. So maybe there's a little bit of, hey, see, we like this industry. But I was just curious to see what you thought on that
How
one.
do
So
you
thank you
well,
very much, Tanya.
how do you feel about it when you see somebody else's? What's the thoughts that go through your head?
It's usually a big dollar amount. And
Always?
I'm more impressed with the smaller dollar amounts just because that's just who I am is I want to see him helping that. So you did a gas station. Yeah, you and every other SBA lender on earth can do a gas station or a hotel pretty easily for a large dollar amount. That's easy way to get commission. I get that.
Mhm.
But tell me about like how weird the deal was. Tell me what you had to overcome.
Exactly. That
Tell
I would
me
like. Yeah.
tell me some more oomph behind it, not just I booked a loan. Well, good for you. Well,
That's
here's your gold star for
100%.
doing your job.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Paul. That's exactly how it comes across to me.
Okay.
It's like, woohoo! All right. Well, I mean, who is that for? So I don't know. That's just me. Anyway,
Nope.
sorry
That
to
was a
everybody
good
that
one.
does them. It is not against you. It's literally my own opinion.
Well, and this next one I'm afraid to bring up, especially for timing, but 504 or 7A, which is better? By the way, hi Jason Shout. I know you're listening. He works for a 504 down in Arizona, and he's always asking me, so what have you done in 504? What have you done in 504?
Yeah.
Well, there's pros and cons to a 504 and a 7A. If you offer any sort of fixed rate program on your 7A, it definitely moves it back up into a better philosophy. But if you're doing straight variable and against a 504, in my opinion, it depends. Are you going to be in that building longer than 5 years?
Mhm.
Or what do you think interest rates are going to do in the next 5 years? I think is the bigger thing. 504 has been a little sleepy lately just
Right.
because interest rates, but they're coming down. I think it's like what 604 or something like that. I think is what it is now for August. But it's phenomenal. It's definitely coming down. But well, how do you go back and forth between 7A and fixed rate, Tanya?
Right.
How do you? I mean, at the end of the day, I do what I think is best for the client always.
Of course. Yeah. Well, okay,
But
so mine's
sometimes,
gonna
yeah,
be easy.
go.
Mine's gonna be easy because I don't do 504. But I
Oh,
go against 504 often, right? So, and I have my opinions on both, and I think they both are great products dependent upon what you're doing. Now, there's 2 different things. Obviously, we were working with 2 different people or whatever, 2 different
mm,
lenders when it comes to the 504, so there's a little bit extra that goes into that. Um, the 7A, which is what I do, and I only do a 7A variable. I do not do any fixed products whatsoever. So it's
okay.
only variable. So you can imagine that mine, there's a time and a place for it, and there's a time and a place not for it. When interest rates though are high, here's the crazy thing for me. When interest rates are high, variable sounds awful because obviously variables
Right.
up here. However, when you kind of look at it over the long term, the prepay, especially let's say it's commercial real estate that's got other things with it. Do you want to pay for all of the things that you can't do, the acquisition piece, the inventory, anything like that, that working capital
100%.
that you
Yep.
can't do with the 504? Do you want to pay for that out of pocket or separate? Okay,
Correct.
well, that's one thing. If you want them all together, obviously the way to go is going to be the 7A. But what
Yep.
I want to talk about is the penalty period, right? So you've got the penalty
That's a good
period
point.
when it comes to only 3 years, and it's a 531 when it comes to the 7A product. Now,
Mm,
oftentimes I say that third year is kind of a wash dependent upon how much you can save in the interest. It's 1%, right?
right.
So in a way, it's the 2 year. And yeah, maybe I should say this, maybe I shouldn't. But if you're looking to get into something and the rates are higher currently, do you really want to lock in for an extended period when it comes to the penalty period? Because it's 10-year, declining for interest or whatever.
Mm,
10-year on the 504, it's only that 3 year for the 7A. So I don't know. There's a pro con. And maybe that's just my pro of my product. But I don't
sure.
always tell people to go my direction. I don't. So, because it's
Well,
not
and
always
that's good. And I would love to hear some feedback down below
Mhm.
of your difference between 7A and 504 because again, they both have their place in this great product set, and you got to do what you got to do, but it, it's a challenge sometimes on which one's better. So I definitely look forward to seeing what other people talk about down below. So
And yeah, like you said, I don't know that it's which one's better. I think it's which one's more appropriate in the situation at that point. So
agreed,
I think they all have
agreed.
their point. Anyway, that comes to the end of our show, guys. And if you would like to see us when the news is breaking, LinkedIn and or YouTube, and you'll get us live. Otherwise, any of your streaming platforms that you get your podcast on. We have another family of podcasts that we'd love for you to go visit if you're a big SBA a person in the industry, right, that likes to follow, and that would be the BDO show and or the Art of Lending. Um,
SBA link.
the Art of SBA. No, it's just the Art of Lending in
Just
general.
lending.
Sorry, Ray. The Art of SBA Lending. Also, if you've got anything you want us to talk about and or any comments that you don't want to just shoot us via LinkedIn, go ahead and do that to our email, which is SBA Today at artofsba.com. And we look forward to seeing you next time.